this was very interesting to watch. I wanted to talk about it yesterday, but of course, we were detained with other things. Seattle gunman Gregory Tim, who crashed car into Trump voter registration, is accused of shooting man in wheelchair over stolen valor. So Gregory Tim is the guy who shot the black disabled veteran. You gotta repeat myself. In Seattle the other day, in the slowest, most drawn-out gunfight of all time over a stupid stolen valor accusation. And this guy has a history of mentally unwell behavior. A gunman who once plowed his car into a Trump voter registration drive is accused of shooting a wheelchair-bound Washington man in the chest at point-blank range over allegations of stolen valor. So this guy, this Gregory Tim, not particularly of sound mind and body. So this is Mr. Tim right here, 32 years old, in Seattle, average Seattle man. The chaos unfolded in downtown Seattle along the popular Alaskan Way Boardwalk on July 31st, when the suspected shooter, Gregory Tim, allegedly confronted the 68-year-old rep about his military service. Como News reported, citing charging documents. Prosecutors allege that Tim, 32, demanded to see the victim's military ID and removed a military patch from the victim's belonging moments before the shooting. So I have the full video up. It's a little bit intense, okay, because things do happen. It was like the most retarded duel of all time. I think that's a good description of it. But this prompted the victim to unholster what investigators identified as an airsoft gun, according to the video obtained by the outlet. Tim stepped back, reached into his bag, and aimed a real pistol at the victim. That's the old Uno reverse card, right? You pull out your airsoft pistol, and then the weird lefty degen is like, well, I've got a real gun, and I'm gonna shoot you up for real this time. Also, it is dumb to draw an airsoft pistol on somebody. Big dumb move right there. Startled bystanders shrieked as Tim's, only feet away, fired one round into the victim's chest, sending onlookers, including families with children, fleeing for cover. Very strange situation, which we're about to watch. Now, this is the disabled vet here, that he's 68 years old, and he was accused of stolen valor, even though he is actually a disabled veteran. So it was a mistaken case of stolen valor. Also, I don't know if people are that big of assholes in public. Like, I know there's a lot of vets in the chat, right? I know there's a lot of vets in the chat right now. So if you ever see somebody in a wheelchair, do you go up to them and confront them about their military service? Like, what's your MOS, bro? Like, are you a real, like... I don't know if that's a normal interaction to have, but again, keep in mind that this gentleman here has also like ran his car into a polling booth, essentially, I suppose. So not the best. They're not sending their best. Okay, Seattle's best, Seattle's finest, not actually that fine. In the second video, the alleged gunman then raises his hand in the air and apologizes to startled bystanders for shooting the man. Sorry, I had to do that. Yeah, this is the duel right here. Seattle's finest next to a Starbucks. Of course it is. Pulls out his Kimber 1911, which jams on the first shot, and then shoots the disabled vet in a wheelchair in the chest, who is armed with I think he had a knife, and I think he had an airsoft gun. And when he drew out the fake airsoft gun, that is when this guy takes like 15 seconds to get his gun out, charge it, and then shoot him in the chest, which we will see in excruciatingly slow, painful details. The victim, a regular on the boardwalk, known for playing music and spreading good vibes, all right, was rushed to the hospital in serious but stable conditions, and I believe he did survive. According to the court documents obtained by Como News, just before he shot by Tim, the victim allegedly pulled out a knife and then an airsoft gun. So this is where everything gets interesting, because the guy in the wheelchair pulls out a knife, rolls slowly towards the shooter, right, and then kind of stops halfway, and then pulls out a fake airsoft gun, at which point the guy shoots him. There is a argument for justified self-defense, even though it is the most pathetic attacker of all time, right? Rolling at you with a knife, allegedly, and then pulling out an airsoft gun. Technically speaking, you guys can still, right? Self-defense, you could argue that. It's an argument one could have, right? For sure. All right. Tim's defense attorneys argues his client acted in self-defense because the victim pulled a gun on him first, airsoft gun. I'm not sure if that matters all that much. However, King County prosecutors said Tim was the aggressor in the incident. See, that's the interesting part, because the Hat Man over here on the left, we'll just call him Hat Man and Wheelchair Man. Hat Man allegedly started the encounter, right, by stealing the guy's patch and being aggressive with him and confronting him on his stolen valor allegations. King County prosecutors are treating the Hat Man as the aggressor. If you're the one who's the first aggressor who provokes the altercation, you lose the right to claim self-defense effectively under state law. Also, keep in mind, this is Washington. Very liberal. I lived in Washington for 27 years. I've been to Seattle many times. Used to be kind of cool. Now it's complete garbage. You're a very liberal state. In the most liberal county, they are going to go after the guy with the gun. Even if he might, like, on a technicality be in the right from like a moral standpoint, right? Like, well, he did kind of get attacked with a knife. Even so, I think that they're still going to try and do everything against the guy with the gun. Washington does not like guns. I hope you guys aren't getting distracted by Sydney Sweeney in the corner. I just realized that me and her are the same size right now. You're probably all staring at her instead of the actual article, which is fine. 2020, Tim. Oh, no. In 2020, Tim drove his car into a Republican Party voter registration drive at Kernan Village Shopping Center in Jacksonville, Florida, before fleeing, according to King 5. No one was injured in the incident. Tim told the police he did not like President Trump. Go figure. When deputies later arrested him at his home in court, he explained that he saw his actions in the Florida incident as his duty. I mean, all right, it's my duty, Your Honor, to run my car into this Republican Party voter registration drive in Florida. So I wonder if that's interesting, because he commits this crime in Florida, moves all the way over to Washington to then shoot another guy. This wacky, very, very wacky. The only reason the administration was getting away with these atrocious crimes is because we were rolling over and taking it, he said in court, according to King 5. Yeah, these are not the eyes of a sane man. He's like, listen, I had to roll over those people, or, you know, that station, whatever it was. I had to do that because Orange Man in office means I must kill people. Focus Trip's wife Anna says, "Well, you can extra. Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. Jealousy is unbecoming, Anna. Unbelievable. She has great genes. Great genes. Yes, indeed, great genes. Fantastic genes." Let's see. What is Kyle? Sweeney is a dog. Woo. Ouch. All right. Fair enough. Now, as promised, careful what you wish for. As promised, here is the actual incident on the Seattle waterfront. Here we do have audio. It's wacky. It's very wacky. So we have the Hat Man here. We have the 68-year-old disabled vet rolling towards him, allegedly with a knife. Allegedly. He pauses there, right? So Hat Man's probably roughly 10 feet away. Man pauses here, and he starts fumbling around because somewhere in his pouch, in his bag, in his folds, whatever it might be, somewhere in there he has an airsoft gun. And then he's going to try and get it out. When he does, Hat Man will slowly draw his gun in self-defense and take one singular shot. So, I mean, that's pretty obvious. That's a knife right there. That's a big knife right there. Now, it is Seattle, so I don't oppose people carrying weapons, because it might be a little sketchier than it used to be. Might be turning into the new London knife crime central soon enough. You never know. And so you can see that he has his pack, which is around his back. He brings it to his forefront, and he's reaching inside. What he is bringing out of it, I think it's about a 10 to 15 second draw. See, now he has his gun. Pistols at dawn stance. A little antiquated. Circa 1740, I want to say, this stance. Last effectively used. He's going to, in this duel, take his shot. Now, he does manage to get the shot, and he does hit the 68-year-old disabled veteran in the chest. Fortunately, non-life-threatening or non-life-ending, though still, of course, nobody wants to get shot. And then he just stands there awkwardly, menacingly, as Patrick might say. Now, it is at this point, that's a great screenshot right there. This is Seattle in a nutshell. This image right here, this is Seattle. But this man, he notices that his gun has jammed, so he's going to very awkwardly clear it because he got one round off, which is the average round count between failures of the Kimber 1911, circa Ron Cohen. Bye, everybody. Drops the mag, clears the malfunction, whether it was a failure to feed, failure to extract, whatever it might be. Racks it again to make sure that this guy is no longer a threat, even though he wasn't really ever a threat in the first place. But again, he did draw a knife on the guy. He did charge. I say charge, I mean roll towards him. So it's interesting. I wonder if there is any lawyers in the chat. This would be very interesting to hear your guys' opinion on this as I drop my phone.
Show me your ID. Pull a fucking gun on.
And then he says, excuse me, and then he says, show me some ID, pull an effing gun on me. Well, obviously, I mean, he pulled a gun like on a technicality, right? You know, airsoft gun still. I suppose it's scary enough. Yep. Wacky situation. And this could, people are pointing to this, like this might actually be like a landmark self-defense case, right? Because it's so strange and wacky. I don't remember if Washington has a duty to retreat law, but again, he was kind of the aggressor before this video started playing because allegedly he stole a patch off the guy. He started the altercation asking him like, oh, are you a real vet? Who knows? Any bird lawyers in chat? Yes, of course it was a Kimber. Of course it was a Kimber. As it is. Both are cooked. Well, I mean, one is literally cooked, being 68 years old, obese, in a wheelchair, disabled veteran, and then getting shot in the chest. The prospects for the rest of your life are not particularly great. He did roll up aggressively. It was an aggressive roll. Very true. Well, so if you waited to draw till after, I think you can't really see it here. I'll mute it. But I don't know what the wheelchair guy is doing. It looks like he's like convulsing, but I think he's trying to get his airsoft gun out. And then that's when you can see he moves to get his gun out of his bag. And he's like, haha, you have a fake gun, but I have a real gun, Mr. Bond. And then he shoots him in the chest, right? Show me your ID. Yeah, that's always funny to me in kind of a macabre way, right? When like a cop is like, show me your hands to somebody that they've shot like 12 times that's like obviously dead on the floor, and the cop's yelling at them like, show me your hands, show me your hands, show me your hands. It's like, bro, that guy's not showing you anything. He's no longer here.